Hello, everyone, and welcome back to For the Agenda. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Huang, and on this channel, I essentially watch mainstream content and let you know if it is worth your time, because your time is valuable, and no one should tell you otherwise. So today, I'm going to be talking about the newest sci-fi film hitting theaters, The Creator, directed by Gareth Edwards. Now, this film is about a future war between the human race and the forces of artificial intelligence. We follow Joshua, played by JohnDavidWashington, a hardened ex-Special Forces agent grieving the disappearance of his wife, who is recruited to hunt down and kill the Creator, the elusive architect of advanced AI who has developed a mysterious weapon with the power to end the war and mankind itself. And it turns out to be in the form of a young child. Now, I didn't have high expectations for this film. This is a film I feel should be best seen as blind as possible, maybe one trailer at best, if at all. If you like science fiction films, you might enjoy this. I didn't know really what to expect from the trailer. I was really sold by Gemma Chan. I really like Gemma Chan as an actress. I really loved her in Crazy Rich Asians and Eternals. And seeing her here, I was like, I'm excited to see her do sci-fi. This could be very interesting. Now, this is an original sci-fi property, and that's very exciting because a lot of the time we've recently been getting reboots, sequels, remakes, and the sci-fi genre has very much been applauded for going the original route. And right off the bat, we should 100% invest in more original sci-fi ideas, especially when you see how this film was made for $80 million. Like, that is extremely impressive. That budget, and given what they pull off here visually, it's truly just so incredible. So with all that being said, I didn't love this movie. I thought it had its good moments, but there was something about it that kept me from really enjoying it. And I think I figured out what it was. So to start us off, this is an $80 million film, like I said, that visually looks more expensive than it actually is and looks way better than a couple of blockbusters that have come out in recent years. And this felt like it had Star Wars or even MCU amounts of money. I mean, it looked beautiful. And when you see that it doesn't have that amount of money, you're just like, huh? Like, this proves that blockbusters can be made for less than 200, 250 million and still look that good. Now, this film, not for kids, in my opinion. This is quite intense for kids. I don't think they'd be able to enjoy it as much. However, teenagers and up, they're good. They're probably going to enjoy this. Now, this film is quite ambitious, and it's the kind of film we should be seeing more of and investing in. If $80 million gets you this kind of visual quality sci-fi, we really need to look into investing in more of these. Now, visually, this took inspiration from sci-fi classics like Blade Runner when it comes to artificial intelligence and humans living amongst robots. It took inspiration, I noticed, from Akira. It took inspiration from Terminator, not only visually, but also with the man versus machine storyline, as well as the man and machine teaming up storyline. I thought that was very interesting. And even Star Wars, I think there are some cool elements from Rogue One in this film. And when you add that all together and you see some of the action set pieces, you're like, okay, this feels like a tribute to a couple of these films and even the sci-fi genre itself. I think the concept overall for this film was really well designed. I just don't think it was exactly executed well enough. And that has to do with the script and the story, but how they designed the world, the buildings, the overall production design, it was really great. And it brought the world to life. Story-wise, you do see this film again taking inspiration from other sci-fi works where you go, I've seen this kind of scene before, yet it adapts these plot points in a way where it still feels fresh. And it's the kind of film you think would have been written in the 80s by a writer who had the James Cameron type of vision, yet had the technology of 2023 to make it a reality. It looks modern, yet so advanced. And with James Cameron, say what you will about it, I know I have, but with James Cameron, when it comes to his world building skills, he will design you an entire new planet and lay everything out and make sure he gets every detail right. And that's something I do appreciate about his work, especially with the new Avatar films. I will give him that credit. The world building, his skills there, exceptional. And I do see some of that here in The Creator. Again, the world building, it's phenomenal. The world feels lived in, and you enjoy seeing how the future is depicted here. Feels kind of a little bit accurate, a little scary, and that's good sci-fi because it makes you worry, like, are we headed down this path? That's a good sci-fi film. When it makes you question if society is really headed down that path, that's effective science fiction. And here, it makes you wonder, but they also make you want to explore areas in this film, similar to a game called Detroit Become Human, which I enjoyed. I thought it was pretty good. Cinematography, it was absolutely breathtaking here. And Hans Zimmer's score, fantastic as always. And I also really enjoyed the acting here all around. I gotta say, I love John David Washington. I thought he was a great lead, very charismatic, and found the right balance between very serious and sometimes funny. He definitely shined during the emotional scenes of the film, not only with the tragic backstory, but especially when he starts to question his faith in humanity. He is his father's son. John David Washington is Denzel Washington's son. And I think he has a very bright future ahead of him. I'm excited to see what other roles he gets moving forward. But I also want to give a shout out to Madeline Yuna Voiles as Alpha, who was also really good, especially when it came to selling those emotional moments. She is the heart of this film. And I'm surprised to see that this is her debut role in anything. Like, this is her first role. And that's extremely impressive given the kind of performance she gave. And she was better, I feel, than some adults I've seen acting in other films. I was really impressed. She really sold it. And I think that's excellent. I think a lot of people associate child actors with over exaggerating the drama because, they're still new to it. But something about this performance, it felt very grounded and very skilled. And I really like Gemma Chan. Again, she's the one who actually sold this film for me because I'm a fan of her work. And she does a really great job here. I thought her role was maybe smaller than I thought it personally should have been and more personally to my liking. But she was really good overall. I love the way she did a lot of face acting where she served more of the emotional side of the role since she didn't have as much dialogue. But she made the dialogue she had work. She really did. And she does make an impression on you as a viewer. I also got to give a shout out to Allison Janney, who also does a really good job in her role. The way she delivered her perspective was interesting, especially when it comes to her part in the war, which is great because it's the type of role where it can be normally underwritten to the point where the character is forgettable. Yet here, she really makes it work. And this role, I don't want to give any spoilers, but this role is one that an actor or an actress really would like because you get to sink your teeth in a little bit and you get to play with the audience a bit and try to see if you can convince them onto your side. And that's really impressive. Now, my main issue with this film, this is where I was really torn. Because while I was entertained by the story in a turn off your brain and enjoy the big screen spectacle in IMAX way, which by the way, IMAX, it's the best way to enjoy this film's visuals. Really, it's the way to see this film. But once you think about the story and start to analyze what really happened and the subtext within, I felt that feeling went away from me. I don't think the story fully grasped its own concept. At one point, the AI felt like the good guys and humans were the villains, which that could have been an interesting take if it examined how AI was being abused by humans instead of using a prophecy angle that the trailer gives away. I think the story does drop the ball because where it goes, I don't feel was 100% solid, especially when you realize that this story kind of dismisses the concerns of its human characters, and they have justifiable reasons to be concerned in this film emotionally. There are a lot of questions that they could be asking, and instead of trying to incorporate these sentiments into the script, which would have, I feel, strengthened it by making it a timely discourse given our current situation with technology overall, I feel it ends up overwhelming the audience in a way. While this is an original idea from Gareth Edwards, and original sci-fi ideas, again, are always cool to explore, I don't think Edwards explored enough of this concept. For example, when it had these moments of dialogue questioning the reasoning behind the war, the future, and humanity, which would have made for an interesting discussion, yet the ethical dilemmas due to the rise of artificial intelligence at one point just felt derivative. What else do you have to add to it? That's what you end up asking yourself at one point once you analyze the film. I felt like I've seen this film before. And yes, it's in a post-catastrophe dystopian future. That's been the argument for some other films like Star Wars, where humans and robots can coexist even during a war. But given where we are right now as a society, given the writers and actors strikes that have been going on, the timing of this film is quite insane. One thing I will give the script credit for, I liked the emotional moments that it included between Alfie and Joshua, and between Joshua and his wife. I really thought that those emotional moments, I really enjoyed how it dove into them. I just kind of think it was missing something. It just felt like the script didn't live up to its full potential. And you could kind of see where this could have gone and where it could have been really interesting. For some reason, I just didn't connect with it. Now, I will say that the ending takes an approach that I did not expect, and I kind of appreciate the boldness of it. That's all I'll say, so I won't spoil it. But I appreciate them going with the, I guess we'll call it, not traditionally Hollywood ending. I don't think this is the ending Hollywood would have chosen. And I kind of appreciate that. That's a big swing. So while The Creator does feel quite long, there are too many acts in the story where it feels like I was watching a television series on the big screen instead of a film. The way it went from this act to that act, and there are like these title cards, and you're just like, am I watching episodes or am I watching a movie? And a good TV series for sci-fi is great. But I'm on the big screen and, 3-act structure. Yet here it felt like 5, 6. But it does manage to entertain and provide solid moments of humor that balance out the tone. The film has a strong vision and a mesmerizing world visually. I just feel it needed some rewrites to fix the story and achieve the level of greatness it was aiming for. I personally didn't connect with this film like I would have wanted to, but visually, I am quite impressed with the beauty that was crafted on screen. I don't think this will be for everyone, though. If you're not really into sci-fi, if you don't really love the subject right now of AI, then odds are that you may not connect with this film. You may not like this film, and it happens. There's no problem. Sci-fi has always been that genre where not everyone always loves the film itself, but sci-fi has been used really well in terms of discourse, analyzing what the future could hold. Could this vision become a reality? Are we on our way there? And in that case, the film opens up an interesting discussion. I just don't think it hit a home run. I think, there was an interesting idea, but it wasn't fully realized. The timing of this, again, not great. Just didn't work for me as much. I overall liked it. I just think it could have been a little bit better. As a turn off your brain popcorn kind of film, yeah, this works. But when you analyze it, there are a lot of different interpretations you could take with this film. Depending on what you interpret with the story determines on if you'll like it. I think that's the best way to summarize it, actually. But I do think fans of the sci-fi genre should consider checking this out in theaters. I think, again, visuals alone would be worth it for sci-fi fans. I think the story, it could be hit or miss. You're either going to connect with the story and like what it has to say, or you won't. It all depends on how you interpret what the film is trying to say. And film has always been subjective. This is no exception. So that is my review of The Creator. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you can hit the like button and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. You can follow me on Twitter and on Letterboxd at Leading Mohicans. And remember, regardless of what others feel about the things you love, it is always for the agenda. Bye.